All right, the video says downfall of the Democrats, the truth about the 2024 election. Here we go. No way. We're getting another one of these?
Election night in America, one of the most consequential elections in recent history.
Oh, man. We're getting
has won the presidential election.
We're getting another one of these, boys. We're getting another one of these. Oh, my God.
In Kentucky,
Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. Missouri will go to Donald Trump.
It's clear now that Donald Trump has picked up key support among Hispanic voters despite all the things that he said.
Donald Trump will win the state of North Carolina.
Damn.
The state of Georgia will go to former President Donald Trump.
The evening was getting increasingly somber as people realized what this was.
CNN projects that Donald Trump will win the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Damn.
Not winning.
So you won't hear from the vice president tonight? News Decision Desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the
Let's
47th
go.
president of the United States.
Do you really think that the Democratic Party is fighting for you? The overwhelming answer is
No, they're not. They're not.
no.
Based Bernie.
Well. What have we learned? Nothing, apparently. I regret to inform you, everything I predicted about the election in my last video came true and more. Men did overwhelmingly turn out for Trump, especially young men. But I was wrong about one thing. Young men weren't the only ones who came out in droves for Trump. Nearly everyone did. The madman took everything. Every swing state, Pennsylvania, Georgia, my home state, New York, was closer to flipping red than Florida was to flipping blue.
That's actually pretty crazy. Like, I'm surprised that Trump won by that much. And it's funny because, like, if you think about it, look, I'm not one into conspiracies, but the amount that Trump won this time would have been exactly the same if Biden lost the first time. Right? It felt like the same amount of, and people are like, oh, where were the 20 million people? Yo, they all died. They all died to death. But man, yeah, a lot of people came out to vote for Trump. Like, I think, like I said, I felt like there was a bigger momentum this time around, voting for him. There's more people, even in California. I was in Burbank, okay? I was literally across the street from the Warner Brothers studio, the heart of Burbank, and I was going there to grab some coffee, and I saw a truck literally with like a bunch of "Make America Great Again" flags like posted up on it. It was driving around. I was like, wow, like because 4 years ago you would never have seen this. Like, you have never have seen "Make America Great Again" in LA County. Right? You even see like "Make America Great Again" on like the side of the freeways and stuff like that. It's wild. So the fact that it was in Burbank this time around, like, it's something that it felt like something was shifting, which is awesome, right? And the fact that you got New York almost flipping red is insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, California, we're still counting. But here's the thing though. I read somewhere. Okay, so I'm in favor of this. I believe I voted for it. I believe in 2020. There was this thing in San Bernardino County that we were going to secede from California, and if there was enough backing for it, they will actually put it on the ballot, right? So there's an article that came out, I believe, not long ago, and I believe even Tim Pool talked about it, that there is a part of Illinois and parts of San Bernardino County in California, or the county in general, wants to secede from California itself. Will be New California or New Illinois, which would be freaking amazing. Holy crap. That'll be so good if we just got the fuck out of there, man. All right, let's continue.
Turns out Dick Cheney as brat wasn't the best message to win over voters. Dems did so bad it really had me thinking, damn, did we steal that election? So what happened here?
They
How
did.
did it go so wrong? Was it too
in
late
Minecraft
for the Democratic Party, or can they turn this around? Will the Democrats learn from this, Or will they double down and get worse? In this video, I'm going to go through all the excuses and the copes the
They double
Democrats
downing.
and the broader left are coming up with to avoid accountability. Read some silly tweets, watch some silly news clips, and even give the Democratic Party some advice on how to win 2028. Don't worry, Republicans watching this. They won't listen. Maybe in 2050, under the barren Trump monarchy, someone might come to their senses, but not anytime soon. If you only watched or read most mainstream liberal news, it really seemed like Kamala had this in the bag, which is why you should try to get your news from a variety of different sources.
Is it an ad?
That reminds me. Before we dive into this election dissection, let's give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, a
Good
sponsor I've
segue.
been working with for over 4 years now. Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers an easy and transparent way to read the news all across the political spectrum. Every story comes with
Shoe0nHead voted for
visual
Biden in
breakdown
2020?
that
I'm
helps
pretty
you
sure she
understand
did.
the full story and
I
make
know
sure
she's
you're
not a
getting both
Republican for sure.
sides. One of my favorite features of Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you what
Is that
news
a wig?
stories have been covered by
It looks
one
good with that long hair.
spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is a story about how Bernie Sanders is open to working with Trump on capping credit card interests, and there's 23 sources on it, and 89% are right-wing. No left-wing sources have covered the story. And this story about how 2 women have told the ethics panel that Matt Gaetz paid them for sex, 31 sources, 61% of them left-wing.
Of course. Of course. Man, hey, I think I might actually start getting this. It's because, like, of course they're not gonna, of course the Democrats aren't gonna report on the Bernie Sanders thing. It's gonna make Trump look good. Of course they're not gonna do that shit.
You can even see who
If she's libertarian,
owns
or yeah.
these political outlets. Ground News also makes it really easy and fun to compare headlines to see how ownership or political bias can affect the framing of a story. For example, this story about how a man was arrested after allegedly a stabbing spree in Manhattan that left 2 dead and 1 injured. This left-wing outlet says, man arrested after alleged stabbing spree in Manhattan that left 2 dead, 1 injured. This right-wing outlet says, 2 dead, 1 critically injured in Manhattan as knife-wielding maniac launches unprovoked stabbing spree. I have been using Ground News since 2021 and I am just obsessed with this app. It is a great and easy way to stay informed, plus it really helps me see how both sides frame the same story so differently. Best of all, for Black Friday, I am offering 50% off their
African
Advantage
American
plan, which is
Friday,
the
all
plan
right?
I use to access all their amazing features.
African
This is
American
my biggest
Friday.
discount of the year, so go to ground.news/shoe, use the QR code here on the screen, or use the link in the video description down below and subscribe today for only $4.16 repeating per month. I personally think what they're doing is very important because it helps approach the news in a more balanced and transparent way, and I feel like we really need that nowadays. So thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right? And now let's get back to this election dissection.
Should have skipped the ad,
shall
right,
we?
chat?
No point in saying good morning.
Oh, there's Hertz Donuts girl right there.
From blaming the
Big
American
titty
people
Nancy.
to blaming Joe Rogan, the Democrats and the media are having a hard time coping with their loss, and I don't blame them. It was a pretty big loss. Embarrassing, quite frankly. Donald Trump overperformed in nearly every state, with basically every demographic, and the entire country seems to be shifting more.
Like, that is actually wild, man. Looking at this map is insane. Like, how many things just shifted? Like, the fact that you got a good amount right over there in Pennsylvania, some in New York, which is actually really wild. What's crazy was Nevada, right? Nevada was red up until 2020. I mean, up until 2004. And then 2004, ever since then, it stayed blue all the way up until now. That's a huge shift, right? And here's the thing. My what's it called again? My wife's cousin, who hates Donald Trump, who hates the way he talks, who just doesn't like him, voted for Hillary in 2016, right? 2016, and then in 2020 says, I hate Donald Trump, but still voted for the guy. And he lives in Vegas. And then in 2024 voted for him again, right? But then it's his wife. TDS to the max, man. Like, his wife is like TDS. Her and her sisters are all TDS. Like, they're good people. They're, you know, in terms of just Trump derangement syndrome, they cannot see any good coming from Trump and Trump supporters, right? And I believe I even watched a Anna Kasparian video saying that there's like a person in her her apartment building or something like that, and she said because she has it in her mind that like every Trump supporter are like bigots, misogynists, and stuff like that. And I guess they got there's this guy who was in her apartment, became friends with her, and then they actually went together, and then I guess they had some kind of powwow or something like that, and then he whispers into her ears like, oh, if they're gonna continue making fun of Trump, I'm going to leave. And then she immediately thought like, wait, you're a Trump supporter? We're actually really, really good friends. What's going on? I didn't know. And then it sort of like shattered her reality. It's just like, wow, Trump supporters are actually normal people. Who would have thunk, right? And I believe Anna lives in LA, and she was like sexually assaulted by like a homeless person. I have a feeling that, like Dave Rubin, Anna Kasparian she's gonna go Republican. I'm not sure. I believe she's independent now. I'm not 100% sure, but let's continue.
Red. Everyone was so sure dangerous, devious, dastardly Donald would never make his way back into the White House to steal democracy. And he did it. With democracy. Anyway, I got a lot of comments on my last video from new fags like, wait, you're left-wing and you hate the Democrats? Yeah, man, that's a pretty common thing. If you're shocked that I'm left-wing, maybe that's a sign you need to take a step back and evaluate some of the preconceived stereotypes you have of people. Not all of us are crazy blue-haired socialists, no. Some of us are crazy brown-haired socialists. But for those of you who are new here, hello, I am Shoe0nHead. If you ask the right wing, I am Stalin. If you ask the left wing, I am Hitler. Fiscally far left, culturally centrist, socially retarded. But if you really must put me in a box, it's not that hard to pin me down. I'm a populist. Think Huey Long if you—
When she said pin her down, I'm like, let's continue.
He was a 5'3" Italian New Yorker woman who still did her hair and makeup like it was 2008. Put a pin in that Huey Long name, by the way. He's gonna come up later. I grew up in the 90s and the 2000s. My political awakening was jibjab.com. The first time I voted for Obama. I was ready for that hope and change. Instead, we got the crushing of Occupy Wall Street and more drone strikes. And from there, it only got worse. I voted for Bernie in the primaries in 2016, and I watched as the Democratic Party did everything in their power to destroy this man twice.
Sorry, okay, I have to, you horny bastard. Yo, celluloid, I'm gonna ban you again. Okay, look, I'm not a Bernie bro, but I understood what Bernie wanted to do, and there's one thing you got to give Bernie, that guy is consistent. He never changed, other than the fact that he became a millionaire and billionaire. Well, he became a millionaire, right? Because he sold books, yada yada. But the Democrats fucked him twice. Fucked him in the ass twice. I think that if Bernie ran against Trump in 2016, Bernie would have won. Right? I think Bernie had such big momentum. There's so many memes that basically showed Trump as Joker, Hillary as Two-Face, and Bernie as Batman, right? There's so many memes about that, how he's gonna fix America, how you know, but I don't think socialism would have worked. But the thing is, I think he had a big enough momentum where he could have won. Democrats fucked him again in 2020, right? Even I have a friend who's a big Young Turks guy, right? He's a big TYT guy. He loves Cenk Uygur. Like he's my friend Emron. If you guys watch TYT, Cenk mentions my friend by name multiple times. He made the tsunami wave voting based off of Hokusai. He's the one who made that, and he makes the one that says ceasefire with a missile and stuff like that. Like he made all that art. So whenever you see Cenk Uygur wearing some like graphic art, it's all made by my friend. So like I'm good friends with him. He has crazy Trump derangement syndrome. So does his wife. But I fucking love the guy. That guy's fucking dope as shit. I love him. He's a fantastic artist too. And that's the reason why I'm like, we can get along. Like he's still friends with me. He knows that I'm more conservative leaning. But I told him, Biden, and I think that the Democrats are gonna fuck Bernie in the asshole again, and they did. And he got pissed off. He was super pissed off. But yeah, it's just, you know, I sent him this meme with Stewie where he's praying, right? It's like, dear God, get out of our way. And basically, you know, that's what Bernie is saying to, you know, and Bernie supporters are saying to the Democrats.
Twice. So it is safe to say I am a little biased when it comes to the Democratic Party, but I don't think I've hated them more than I do right now. The truth is, my last video was way meaner and way harsher than the final product turned out to be. When I showed the video to my assistant, he basically had an intervention with me and he was like, listen, you need to soften this up a bit. It's a few days before the election. You went too hard. Well, the election is over.
She should have went harder.
But I'm going hard.
She just go thick. Hard and thick.
Idiots. You morons. You imbeciles. Kamala Harris? Really? That's who you threw up there? The one who dropped out before Iowa? The one who got blown the f out by Tulsi Gabbard? Why didn't you hold a primary? Aren't you the f***ing saviors of democracy? Where the f was the democracy? Oh, big congratulations to Tim Walz on being the first white male DEI hire. It didn't f***ing work. The DNC completely neutered that f***ing guy, reduced him to this weird token white man. Hello, fellow men. I too play football. But hey, the only demographic you completely dropped the ball with. Trump made incredible gains with women too. Oh, and all those never Trumpers you tried to court, the people who like the old respectable GOP. You know, the old respectable GOP that led us into a pointless war that cost us trillions of dollars and millions of lives. But we're at least nice on Twitter, that GOP. Yeah, they didn't come out and vote for your ass either. So you got Liz Cheney to tag along for what? For f***ing what?
That's
you raised
crazy.
$1 billion and ended up 20 million in debt? Where the hell did all that
That's wild, man. That's crazy. The fact that Kamala Harris is in debt. Oh man, the fact that she's in debt is crazy, dude. Yo, you know it, I know it, everyone knows it. The fact that we know that Donald Trump was so good and how the Democrats fucked Biden over royally, basically put out a letter on a Sunday saying that he is resigning and will not seek re-election in this upcoming presidential cycle, right? Really, on a Sunday. And here's the thing, it wasn't even on any of the mainstream medias like Fox, CNN, MSNBC. It was on Twitter. It was on X. And that's the reason why X or Twitter is such a strong platform, is because that's the news now. X is the media. That's where, whenever some shit happens around the world, the first place I go to is X. If there's a shooting, if there's some kind of crazy election thing happening, if there's some porn actress that I need to know of, I go to X, and that's the first place I find it. If I need to find a girl's OnlyFans, I go to X. It's all there. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. But the thing is, you know it, I know it, everyone knows that Biden voted for Trump. Okay, Biden put on that Trump hat. He kept it. All right. Second, Jill Biden wore red the day of voting. And whenever there was that exchange between Biden and Trump after he won, Biden never looked happier. He never looked happy. Man. Let's go to Ralphie boy. How's it going, man?
Money go? Maybe you should have blown it all on celebrity appearances that did nothing. Or maybe it was spending 6 figures on a single-use set for the Call Her Daddy podcast.
What? She did that and didn't go on Rogan? She did that and didn't go on Rogan. She should have went on Talk to Her. She don't went and got Talk to Her, spit on that thing. Yo, imagine if she went on Talk to Her. She talked to the Hawk Tua girl, and she talked about how she Hawk Tua Willie Brown and how she sucked her way up to the top. I would have voted for her. I would have voted for Kamala Harris if she went on Talk to Her and said that she Hawk Tua Willie Brown. I would have fucking voted the shit out of her.
That didn't even hit 1 million views. I want to see a full audit of this campaign, because I wouldn't be surprised if this was all like a big money laundering scheme, because honestly, that makes more sense than this being a legitimate presidential campaign. Then they had the audacity to beg their supporters for money after she lost. How about you. How about every DNC consultant should have this map sewn onto the inside of their eyelids? May they never have a peaceful wink of sleep for the rest of their miserable lives. So that is how I feel about the whole situation. But what do Democrats and the media think?
It was
What do they
quite
think the
tame.
Harris
That was
campaign
quite
did
tame,
wrong?
chat.
Why do they think Kamala lost?
I think Harris ran a really good campaign. If there's one person I do not blame for this loss, it is Vice President Harris.
That's some
This is gonna
copium.
be a long fucking video.
That's some
the media this
copium.
morning saying Dems need to have a reckoning. No, we don't. We can't be blamed because we expected Americans to be who they always claim they are. Democrats don't have a messaging problem. America has a racism problem.
Why is it-
Kamala ran a flawless.
Why is it always identity politics? Why can't the Democrats just, look, we fucked up this time, man. We spent too much money. All right, we brought in Beyonce for like $10 to $20 million. She talked for 3 minutes. She left. She didn't do a free concert. All right, the freaking Brat Summer didn't work. Taylor Swift did nothing for us. Yo, they like wasting money, boys. Yeah, most of it, that's our tax money, and people who actually like voluntarily donated to her, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy, boys.
Campaign in 100 days, and I refuse to let y'all gaslight me into believing anything other than that. She lost because she's a woman, and a black one at that.
I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign.
Listen, I'm no political analyst, but losing seems like a pretty big flaw. Truly, don't overthink it. It's
She ain't
because
wrong.
She's a woman. She's a black woman.
Oh my
don't
God.
overthink it. In fact, don't think about it at all.
And Kamala Harris lived up to our dreams. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. She ran a remarkable 107-day emergency campaign full of joy and hope.
Kamala Harris was the perfect candidate, and she ran a beautiful campaign of joy, empathy, and unity. Joy and empathy and unity doesn't motivate people to go to the polls. No wonder Republicans had incredible turnout and so many Democrats stayed home. This isn't Steven's universe. You just can't joy and empathy and unity your way out of not being able to afford food for your family. CNN has a story titled, "Where the Harris Campaign Went Wrong." Nope. I won't read it. Harris ran a great campaign. The story should be titled, "Where the American People Went Wrong."
This is why they lost. All right, this is why Kamala Harris and her team lost. All right, the fact that they think they ran a perfect campaign, right? Oh, it's not me. It's America's the reason why we didn't, Kamala Harris didn't win, right? That's crazy. Like, you cannot, they can't blame themselves. There's no hubris, okay? I'm just so flabbergasted that they think that she did everything right? I believe Kamala Harris was interviewed and asked oh, was there anything that Joe Biden could have done better? She's like, no, he did great. Man, a lot of these Kamala Harris cock riders, it's I don't see how they can come back from this, right? And look, they're still trying to put Trump in jail, all that kind of bullshit is still happening, but this is the fans and the Kamala Harris voters. Look, where I live, it's mixed. You see Kamala Harris flags, you see Trump flags, okay? But I loved it when Kamala Harris lost. I drove down, I drive by the house where the Kamala Harris and Walls flag, it used to be Biden Harris. It's like an old lady. She took it down. And then I literally across the street from her house, the guy has his garage open and it says "fuck Biden," and then you have a American flag and all aboard the Trump train flag. Oh, America.
La la la, I can't hear you. La 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 la, I can't hear you. It's not me, it's you. La 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 la. The cope is unreal here. They don't even want to listen to criticism. They really think they did absolutely nothing wrong. They only see this as a Trump win and not a Democrat failure. Kamala Harris was not a flawed candidate. America is a flawed country.
There it is.
This incredible tweet
America's
is from
racist.
Shannon Watts, who is on the board of Emerge America, which is an organization that, quote, shows Democratic women how to run for office. Yeah, we're never getting a female president.
Joe Biden's been a phenomenal president. He's lived up to so many of the promises.
All right, someone in chat says, bro, did you ever eat a dog? Look. Eating dogs are for poor people. All right. Eating dogs and cats are for poor people. You got to save that money. I ate a monkey. That's right. I ate a goddamn monkey.
He's made is one promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days, make Kamala Harris the president of the United States.
Whoa.
It would absolve her.
Wow. What the f is this Make-A-Wish president shit? Like she's a little kid who wants to play pretend.
So that's a yes?
For a few
No!
days.
It's a
Please
no!
tell me
Oh my God.
We're not gonna get the first female president out of pity. Well done, America. You failed them both.
That's a great photo, by the way.
People cannot let politicians down. That's not how this works. As a politician, you are not owed anyone's vote. You have to earn it, and evidently she didn't earn it. We already went through
She
this
was
in
installed.
2016. Donald Trump beat both female candidates. Donald iron sealing Trump. It's not our fault the female candidates you're putting up are dog shit. Give us some good female candidates and maybe people will vote for them. At this rate, the first female president is going to be a Republican. Mark my word.
I would love it. If Tulsi Gabbard ran again, I would, now that she's a Republican. Ooh. Look. I gotta, look, sorry. I gotta show this. Look. Tulsi Gabbard would be an amazing president. All right, she has it all. Yep. She got the the thickness. Yeah, I vote for her. Goddamn right.
Words, it's bound to happen. And if it doesn't happen, this was a joke. One of the groups that showed up overwhelmingly for Trump was Latinos. One of the major stories of the results is the significant surge in support for Trump among Latino voters. Trump nearly erased the Democratic advantage in this group, narrowing the gap from 33 points to just 8. Democrats will build the wall 50 times higher after that one. We have to have a very, very uncomfortable conversation about Latino voters in this country. Me watching him deport the Latinos and the Arab Americans after they voted for him.
Oh my God, dude.
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, these people are absolutely fucking crazy, man. They're...
To all you Latinos that voted for Trump, I hope he mass deports you and your entire family. Whether you were here legally or not, you gotta go.
I know for a fact that most Latinos for Trump have undocumented family members.
The party of tolerance,
so if you know
chat.
of a Latino who voted for Trump,
The party.
I urge you to call this number and report said family members.
Donald Trump's strongest
The party of
soldiers,
inclusivity.
Spiteful liberals.
A district that's 97% Latino went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border. It's a border crisis
Misogyny.
on their doorstep.
Fucking
And they were
stupid,
begging
dude.
people to care about it for years. So we need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
Another demographic for people that overwhelmingly showed up to vote against Kamala were Muslims. In a Michigan-specific poll of 502
wild.
registered Muslim voters, Stein got 59% support, followed by Trump at 22%, and Harris with a tiny 14% of the vote. The results show significant backlash to the Biden administration's handling of Israel's brutal war in Gaza, which has killed at least 43,508 Palestinians, including more than 16,765 children, as well as how the Harris campaign chose to tackle the issue.
All right, let me tell you why Kamala Harris lost the Muslim vote. There's two reasons. First reason is because the Democrats are playing, they're warmongers. They're playing the both sides, right? They want Israel, and they like Israel, and they like Palestine, right? A lot of the younger people who are pro-Palestine, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck, man? What the hell's going on?" And then of course, if she says, yeah, "You already gave a shit ton of money to like Lebanon and stuff like that," right? So it is what it is. Okay, that's the first reason. Second reason why is because the reason why a lot of people abstained from voting for Harris and voted more for Trump and more for Stein. The reason why is because she's a woman. Right? Don't get me. Jill Stein is also a woman, but I'm talking about the people who voted for Trump. All right, the traditional like OG Muslim stuff. Do you think that the people of Muslim will let a woman be in charge? You think the traditional Muslim will let a woman out in public by herself without a man? Without a hijab? Absolutely not. She's supposed to be in the kitchen making a fucking sandwich.
So how exactly did they tackle that issue? Why, sending that old pervert freak Bill Clinton up to Michigan to talk down to Muslims about Palestine.
I understand why young Palestinian and Arab Americans in Michigan.
Oh my God, dude. Dude looks like he's gonna croak, man. He looks so old.
I get that. But
Muslims really said, we hate you more than the guy that talked about a Muslim ban. Just a side note, look at this fucking guy. It's like he hasn't had his daily dose of adrenochrome in a week. Someone get this man a fresh child stat. Muslims,
Damn,
Latinos,
Epstein.
who else are we gonna blame?
You got Easter egg.
Women. Yes, Trump improved with young men, but he drew in young women too.
Wow, look at that. 52% of all women who look like me are f***ing stupid.
Who's gonna tell her? Who's gonna tell her? 52% of the women who voted for Donald Trump does not look fat and ugly. That's it. I have nothing else to say.
Despite making abortion the #1 issue in her campaign, despite Brat Summer, despite the White Women for Harris Zoom calls, and most of all, despite the Taylor Swift endorsement, Harris only managed to get +8 with women.
That's
despite
bad.
it all, many women came out to support Trump.
She looks like she
especially
ate the 52.
Gen Z women. In 2020, 30% of young women voted for Trump. In 2024, 40% of young women voted for Trump. In fact, so many women voted for him that women on TikTok started wearing blue bracelets to signal to other women that they were one of the good ones who didn't
That's
vote for
retarded.
Trump.
Swifties, I'm buying as many blue beads and blue hearts as I can, and I'm gonna make bracelets so we know who we can trust.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyway, some young women in response to Trump's victory are starting to get into the 4B movement. A movement started...
Yo, we talked about that already. All right, we talked about that. Like I said, all right, like I said, ladies, I support you and your 4B movement. All right, just make sure you flop your fat titties out for me to look at to show me what we're gonna miss out on for the next 4 years. It's a win-win for me.
In South Korea. Basically MGTOW for women. Women giving up on dating men, having sex with men, having babies, marriage, whatever.
Why are they all fat?
We are taking coochie off the table indefinitely.
Cancel all future plans with men. 4B is where it's at. Use their own stupid traditional views against them. Say that you don't want sex before marriage. Say that you are waiting for the right man. They will be seething because they are sexually dependent on women who they call sluts. See, this is the best angle. No sex before marriage. Give them what they voted for.
Yes, what we voted for is less abortions. These women who are participating in the 4B movement, these people who are participating in the 4B movement are the ones who would get abortions. Is there an audio issue? Let me know.
So conservatives won the election and women are threatening to not sleep around. It kind of seems like the conservatives won a little more than just the election. I might do a whole video on the 4B movement. Tell me if you're interested in that. I don't know. Anyway, young men did come out and support Trump, and apparently for the reasons I and many others predicted. We asked young men why they voted for Donald Trump. Here's what they said. Nick Sumners, a 21-year-old cosmetic car repairman from Virginia, says he is pro-choice, but when he voted in the 2024 presidential election, he did so for Donald Trump. Despite his personal beliefs, he says that Trump talks about the American people in a way that resonates with him, without, in his opinion, faulting him for his gender and sexual orientation. I'm a straight white man, and I feel like we take the blame for a lot of things. Of course there are bad guys, he adds, insisting that he's not one of them just because he voted for Trump, but what appealed to him about Donald Trump was that his campaign was not coming after us. He was highlighting the American people, which we are. It doesn't matter what color you are, what you may identify as. Since I wasn't excluded, I resonated with it.
Okay, so the thing is, why a lot of people voted for Trump initially is because they like how he talked. All right, like a lot of regular people, regular mundane people, they love how he talked. It's because he speaks his mind, he does not bullshit, and he just likes it. like he's not a politician. That's the reason why a lot of my wife's like relatives, like my wife's like parents, like my in-laws, like there's a reason why they like it, is because Trump just says it like it is. Then they like it. And a lot of people love Trump, you know, the whole only Rosie O'Donnell, or you'll be in jail. Like all that kind of stuff. Like that is like the oh shit moments, right? Like, yeah, muggles love Trump. Yeah, muggles for Trump. Yeah, true. Mudbloods for Trump.
When you tell a young white guy, hey, you're an oppressor, and because you're white, you have privileges that your black and Hispanic peers didn't have, and you're inherently at fault, or you're guilty for that, which is what a lot of the left wings or Democrats are saying. We're not racist, we're not misogynistic, we're just normal people, and we are friends with everyone. We're tired of hearing a lot of this BS from a lot on the far left. I feel like there's this cultural frustration that young men have that they're not allowed to be young men. I hope the male loneliness epidemic eats you MAGA scum alive. I hope you feel a hole in your soul and feel unloved until your dying day. I hope you rot in your deathbed wondering why women looked at you like you had rabies your whole life as your eyes closed for the last time. Unfortunately, the all men suck branding just isn't good for getting men to ally with you. Oh no, it can't be! Is that the consequences of my own actions? Yes, the reasonable and rational men know you aren't talking about them, but maybe it's time to realize that most men aren't reasonable and rational. How do you speak to young men when they're literally Nazis? Why are Gen Z males the f***ing Hitler youth? How do we get young men to get on board with the young men eat shit and die movement? Hear me out. Maybe not calling them Hitler Youth? After the election, a YouTuber I am subscribed to uploaded a video called How the Right is Winning Young.
Do you know why? Okay, there are many reasons why Trump won, right? Elon Musk buying X, one of them. I'm buying Twitter. Joe Rogan, one of them. Of course, Scott Presler, you know, huge Scott Presler guy. He got a lot of Amish people, a lot of people in Pennsylvania, a lot of Amish people. He moved to Pennsylvania so he can vote there and he can, help with the movement. And one major thing was he was able to get the Amish people who never vote to vote, you know. And then the Democrats was like, I need something with Amish. Get it? But yeah, the thing is, Barron Trump is a huge one. Barron Trump is like 18. He's like 18 or 19. He's young, right? That's the reason. Another reason why Donald Trump won. It's like, Dad, you should go to this podcast. You should go on, what's it called again? Theo Vaughn. You should go you should go on, you should go on Rogan. You should go on a bunch of these things. And he listened, right? And the thing is, gay? All right, never mind.
Men. And I was excited to see his take. But then it comes time to talk about men's issues. And this is how he did it.
But this is the part where I want to enter the male loneliness epidemic. I know. We're all tired of hearing.
The entire idea of the male
Taylor Lorenz? Taylor Lorenz?
It's this idea that really centers men.
Isn't she like 50?
The premise is of quite a flawed premise to begin with.
I agree. I also, I have such mixed feelings about this. I do. Unpopular though it is on the left to like give grace to the male loneliness epidemic. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm picking my words carefully so the leftists don't murder me. Like, don't rake me over the coals for this. But I think that
they will.
I understand.
They did it to
as much as I can understand a heterosexual man.
They did it to JK.
The answer to the video title. Oh, I have to pick my words carefully so my own movement doesn't attack me for caring about men's issues. You see the issue? If you can't talk about this without having to walk on eggshells in fear of your own allies ripping your head off, maybe that is part of the reason men are moving right. Also, I feel like this is really important to say. I don't think all these men are moving right. I think just a lot of them hate the Democratic Party and feel alienated from the left. So what was the overwhelming takeaway from the Democrats and the left? To actually start listening to men? No, of course not. Instead, their solution
why would they listen to men?
We need a liberal Joe Rogan. We need a liberal Joe Rogan ASAP. We need a left-wing Rogan. Democrats are gonna keep losing.
Joe Rogan was originally left, dude. Like, Joe Rogan is like he used to be a Democrat, bro. Joe Rogan is a liberal. Do you know what changed Joe Rogan's point of view of everything? Is when they said that he took horse dewormer. And he's like, fuck you guys. Fuck you guys, man. But you know, like, Joe Rogan has always been like middle of the road, like centrist liberal guy. He left leaning. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, we need a liberal Joe Rogan. People are so dumb, dude.
Until they have their own Joe Rogan, their own Elon Musk, until they create their own alternative to Fox News. People saying Harris should have done Joe Rogan are missing the point. That wouldn't have helped her. Liberals need to build their own Joe Rogan. Oh my god, we need a liberal Joe Rogan. You had a liberal Joe Rogan. His name was Joe Rogan.
There it is, boys!
Too edgy, too problematic, said too many no-no words, talked to too many no-no people about no-no topics, and in 2020, when Bernie Sanders went on his podcast and Joe endorsed him, the Democrat journalist class freaked the out and smeared him for weeks. The left can't.
The reason why is because Alex Jones is good friends with Joe Rogan. Same thing with Elon. They're like really good friends.
And have a Joe Rogan, because everything that makes Joe Rogan is not allowed on the left. Kamala Harris ditched Joe Rogan podcast interview over progressive backlash fears. So Joe Rogan was too problematic, but Liz Cheney was fine? Listen, you don't need a leftist Joe Rogan or liberal Joe Rogan. You just need leftists and liberals to go on Joe Rogan. And that means not giving a shit about being canceled by your own movement.
Look, you can have an argument with Rogan, agree with him, disagree with him, but what's the problem going on those shows? I got vilified by some of the Democratic establishment because I went on Rogan's show. Now a lot of other people are doing just that.
Anyways, liberals should start doing podcasts and TikToks and whatever aimed at setting the youth straight. Yes, there's nothing the youth enjoy more than being set straight.
We don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. By the way, we should educate men that it's actually really great to live with a strong woman who makes money. It's actually easier. Life is easier.
Okay, see, I'm one of those guys where I'm like, I'm okay that, you know, I don't need to be the breadwinner. However, I feel like I won't have any value, right? Like the thing is that if I didn't make money for like, and take care of my wife, take care of my son, you know, pay the bills and all that stuff, I feel like I have no fucking value. I have no fucking worth to do anything. And that's the reason why I'm like, you know, I prefer her to, you know, stay at home and stuff like that. Look, do I want a sugar mama and just lie down and just like fucking jerk off all day? Probably. But the thing is that I would rather just have sex with my wife versus jerking off all day. I'm just saying.
We're going to be under Republican rule for the next 100 years, aren't we?
That'll be
Trump's
good.
win leaves Democrats asking, where are our bro whisperers? We have to make entertaining, engaging content that men want to watch and care about. Then, over time, you pepper in more progressive views. So you want to start a normal podcast.
Make something that caters to them and then sprinkle in DEI bullshit? They fucking already do. They already do. Fucking what's it called again? Last of Us. It's like, oh, like we always ask, oh, is a show woke? Did it get woke and stuff like that? Like video games, TV, anything from Hollywood, TV shows, movies, like it doesn't matter. Like it's been fucking infiltrated by these fucking nut jobs already. All right, you're playing fucking what's it called again? You know, Starfield, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm a man. You found me hot, right? Yeah, I'm actually a man, right? Oh, and then you start dating this girl, and she has zipper tits. It's like she has a dick. It's like it's been in this shit. Like it's now that we've known about this. We've known about sprinkling your, like, it's sort of like the episode 3 of Last of Us, right? From HBO Max. They're like, oh, you know, we wanted to trick the fans into watching a homosexual gay relationship. Like, fuck off.
and then start sprinkling in propaganda? Should you even be saying this out loud? Dems need
They
to
already
seriously
do
put
it!
all their money into creating propaganda network to compete with the right's massive amount of propaganda. Democrats need their own propaganda machine, and I'm not even joking a little bit. First of all, again, I don't think we need better propaganda is something you should be saying out loud. Second of all, Democrats already have that, and have had it for decades. It's called Hollywood. It's called every celebrity, every institution, every piece of media, from movies to video games.
There it is.
From Beyonce to Taylor Swift endorsed her. She had Cardi B at all her rallies. She got the fucking Avengers together.
That was so fucking cringe, dude. That was fucking cringe.
Hey, Scarlett. Wow, Trump is literally Thanos. By the way, with all these like journalists and people talking about how we need a liberal Andrew Tate, a liberal Joe Rogan, yeah, be prepared to see some of the most forced, overproduced, astroturfed streamers and YouTubers to pop up overnight and subtly or not so subtly start shilling for the Democratic Party.
They already did it too. Here's the thing. On Twitch, remember they got that fucking retard to play a WoW while Tim Walz was talking in the background, right? And then you also have was it AOC? Was it AOC and Tim Walz playing Madden together? It's like, what the hell? You should have played a freaking what's it called again? DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball.
You're gonna start seeing funded DNC plants all over YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, because they really do think the answer to all of this is more podcasts. All the funding in the world won't buy you an audience. You could have $1 million set and the best sound and video equipment ever, but it will not buy you a large and dedicated audience. I've been using a Mac laptop webcam and a shitty snowball mic for over 10 years, and you idiots keep coming back for some reason. And listen, it's 2024. Y'all have a
All right, there's a reason why they're guys. We know that she has a kid. I'm not sure if she's married. Somebody already said it in chat too, so I don't need to say it again.
Camera and a microphone. Be the liberal Joe Rogan you want to see in the world. But the thing is, if people can hear your opinions when they turn on the TV, they're not gonna watch your shit. People tune into alt media to hear alt opinions. Even the most popular leftist streamers, like Hassan, for example, spend a lot of time criticizing the Democratic Party. So it's gonna be hard to build some kind of like Democrat shill Joe Rogan. But I can't wait to see you try. After the election, one of the only politicians I've seen who is actively trying to understand why people voted the way that they did is AOC. When I met her, I whispered into her ear.
All right. I can see why Gray says that her teeth aren't that great. Yeah, I can sort of see it now, you know, up close. She's still hot though. You guys saw that picture I reposted on X, right, with her and Lauren Boebert. Yep.
Take the pronouns out of your bio. And she did.
Oh yeah, she did.
Anyway, after the election, AOC found out that a ton of people voted for her down ballot, but also voted for Trump for president on the same ticket. Curious, she took to her Instagram to ask people why they did that. And these were some of their answers. I feel like Trump and you are both real. It's real simple. Trump and you care for the working class. But also you signified change. Trump signified change. I've said lately, Trump sounds more like you. Loved ones say you're both straightforward in challenging corruption and broken government. Because it's different than what has been the last 4 years. Something had to go. I feel that you both are outsiders compared to the rest of DC and less establishment. Voted Trump, but I like you and Bernie. I don't trust either party establishment politicians.
Yep.
The replies, of course, were full of people like, these idiots, these morons, these fools. Most depressing shit I've ever seen. These people sound dumb as hell. Such staggering ignorance and stupidity. The median voter. I hate the median voter. I want to destroy the median voter. Why is the median voter this stupid? I hate the median voter. How could this be real? Americans really are the dumbest gentle.
Americans are really the dumbest. Man, yeah, for the side that says don't use the N-word because it's bad, they love using the N-word, huh? They love using. Stop making AOC hot. Look, it's not. I didn't make that image. I made a bunch of AI AOC, but not that one.
Woman on earth. This is giving me a headache. I don't understand the median voter. Listen, it's really not that hard to understand. It's populism, honey. It's why when I went to January 6th and told a bunch of boomers I was a Bernie supporter.
That was my comment.
A ton of them reacted like this.
I think he's one of the few honest people yeah, I think he's honest. He beat Hillary Clinton, and he would have beat Joe Biden, too.
People hate empty suits that sound like they're constantly reading from a script. They want someone who tells it like it is.
It says
Someone who
ninjas?
fights
Yeah, true.
for the everyman, or at least sounds like they do.
How are you feeling about Trump's upcoming presidency, Trump 2?
I voted for him.
Oh, you like it?
Do you know why? He's like, oh, because he's a black guy. Oh, I didn't know. I do declare. I didn't think a black man was gonna vote for Donald Trump. Don't fall for them leftist titties. Look, we can change her. All right. I heard she makes really good cocktails as well. I know that Alex Stein, prime time Alex Stein, that's his wife. Maybe she into that yellow fever. All right. Maybe she gonna come around. Maybe she wants some of that Asian invasion. Maybe she wants some of that 2-incher.
AOC?
Yeah.
Did you vote for her?
Yeah. Remember one thing about why people voted for Trump. They want change.
The average American voter despises the establishment and will vote for anyone who promises to destroy it. And the fact that none of you understand this is a big reason why you lost and will continue to lose until you do understand it. Capiche? The beatings will continue until the populism improves. How could people have voted for this felon? How could they vote for Trump, especially after January 6th, where he led a bunch of his supporters to destroy that beautiful shining beacon?
Nobody fucking cares about J6, okay? It's putting it out there. Nobody fucking cares. They've been running with that narrative for the longest fucking time. No one fucking cares. I don't care. I don't care. He said grab that girl by a pussy. I don't care. He took pictures with Epstein. Okay, I do care if he was part of the Epstein stuff. But the thing is that the Trump says that, oh, I will release the Epstein client list. It's like, yo, yeah, if he's gonna release a client list, of course he wasn't a part of it. But I don't care that he's what 34 times felon. I don't fucking care. I still voted for him. I don't give a fuck. I just don't want what happened for this past 4 years was garbage. All right?
Of hope. Well, first of all, you have to understand that that's not a shining beacon of hope to most people. That is a dirty, disgusting brothel that sold out the future of their children and will probably send them into the next world war. After all the indictments, the mugshots, the committees, the documentaries, people clearly don't care about January 6th.
Exactly.
And that might scare some people, but the truth is, a politician that promises safety and affordable food can do 100 January 6s. It's kind of like FDR said. Democracy has disappeared in several other great nations, not because the people of those nations dislike democracy, but because they had grown tired of unemployment and insecurity, of seeing their children hungry while they sat helpless in the face of government confusion and government weakness through lack of leadership. Finally, in desperation, they chose to sacrifice liberty in hope of getting something to eat. Speaking of FDR, let's talk a little bit about the guy that FDR stole a bunch of his ideas from, shall we? Someone who the modern Democratic Party should probably try and learn from. That's right, I finally found an excuse to talk about my favorite politician. The man, the myth, the legend, the kingfish himself, Huey Long. Huey Long was the 40th governor of Louisiana from 1928 to 1932. He was a populist member of the Democratic Party and rose to national prominence during the Great Depression. He took on big oil and Wall Street and drastically helped lift Louisiana.
He did not like that. Took a big
Long
oil.
had many
What the hell?
and haters, and to this day is celebrated as a populist.
She was waiting her entire life to wear this outfit. And you know, he was like, oh, I have this. I bought this for for Halloween a long time ago. How long was he? Huey was long. His Reddit bit is long. I wonder if he's longer than Raw Don Long. Raw Dong Lover. Oh shit.
Champion of the people.
She looks good in it, yeah.
denounced as a fascist demagogue. To give you a better idea of who Huey was, here are some quotes from the man himself. Corrupted by wealth and power, your government is like a restaurant with only one dish. They've got a set of Republican waiters on one side and a set of Democratic waiters on the other. But no matter which set of waiters brings you the dish, the legislative grub is all prepared in the same Wall Street kitchen. The only difference I ever found between the Democratic leadership and the Republican leadership is that one of them is skinning you from the ankle up and the other from the ear down. But Huey Long wasn't some enlightened centrist, no. The man firmly had a side, and that side was the people. I'm for the poor man, all poor men, black and white.
Yo, you can't say all this stuff out loud and not get killed, dude. Like, I don't know who Huey Long is, but you cannot say all of these things out loud and being quoted in like the newspaper without getting in trouble, or like without getting like someone's gonna come after your life, especially you going after, you know, big oil and like Republicans and Democrats alike. It sounds like a good recipe for disaster.
They all gotta have a chance. They gotta have a home, a job, a decent education for their children. Every man a king. That's my slogan. When asked if he cared about the bad press he got, Huey replied, "All I care about is what the boys at the forks of the creek think of me." And when Big Oil threatened to leave Louisiana, he said, "If they gotta leave, they can go to hell and stay there."
Damn.
They don't make politicians like this anymore. Politicians used to be like mob bosses. Now they go on Call Her Daddy podcasts. Sad. Huey had many powerful enemies, and because of this, he was assassinated in 19...
Do you know who was also like this? JFK. JFK was like this too. That's why they had to get rid of him. Yeah, based Long, yeah. Some folks got these nicknames to promote their size. Is that why Chan here is known as Phil the Pill? Let's continue. Let's continue.
His last words were allegedly, "God, don't let me die. I have so much to do." There's a lot of talk online right now about how we need a Joe Rogan for the left and Andrew Tate for the left, but there's also talk about how we need a Donald Trump for the left, and well, Huey Long was exactly that. And to be completely honest, I don't think you people could handle a Donald Trump for the left. You couldn't even handle Bernie Sanders. You called him a sexist and a racist and did everything in your power to crush him and keep him down. But unlike Bernie, Huey Long wouldn't just lay down and take it. Huey Long would scare the shit out of the modern Democratic Party. But if there's anyone they need to take a lesson from, it's him. Alright, time to get out of this costume. I feel like an old whore. It should come as no great surprise that the Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class had abandoned them. Bernie Sanders said in a statement about the results of Tuesday's election, "While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right. Will the big money interests and well-paid consultants who control the Democratic Party learn any real lessons from this disastrous campaign? Will they understand the pain and political alienation that tens of millions of Americans are experiencing? Do they have any ideas as to how we can take on the increasingly powerful oligarchy which has so much economic power? Probably not. All the groups that Sanders originally courted, young people, Latinos, the working class, are gone. And I don't know if they're coming back. Maybe this is a one-time thing, maybe it's just because of Trump or inflation, or maybe the meme is coming true. Maybe Republicans are the new party of the working class.
Yes. And the thing is that it's also, it's not the Republican Party. It's not the GOP. It's the MAGA Party. The MAGA Party is part of the working class. The MAGA Party are the ones that are basically, if you think about it, everyone that's on the MAGA Party right now were once Democrats. That's how far the left has gone. They're fucking insane. They're fucking insane. And if there's anyone that's as good as Huey Long or, you know, JFK again that comes up, the CIA is gonna get him. The CIA is gonna get him. They're not gonna want someone that they're not gonna want someone that's in the White House that they can't control. And that's the reason why they didn't like Donald Trump, because they can't control him, right? If Ron DeSantis got in, they could sort of control him, right? But like Donald Trump, you can't control that guy. You can't control him at all. He doesn't need any lobbyists. He doesn't need funding. He doesn't really need donations, right? He asked for donations, but he just technically doesn't need it because he's a billionaire. And that's the reason a bunch of the deep state fuckers are trying to get rid of him by basically squeezing out, by going through all these lawsuits to take away a bunch of his properties, right? They're basically trying to say like, oh, Mar-a-Lago doesn't cost this much. We're trying to just seize all your assets. Like, of course, right? Because if Donald Trump does not have the money, Donald Trump will have to play ball with the Republicans, with the deep state Republicans and Democrats. But he doesn't. That's the reason why. He can't be controlled. That's the reason why people like him as well.
Democrats' working class exodus sets off reckoning within party. Democrats, who have long prided themselves as the party for the little guy, instead strengthened their emerging base of financially secure college graduates this election, while a growing number of blue-collar voters embraced Trump and Republicans.
College erection!
This election, the exodus of working class voters from the Democratic Party included not just white voters, but helped Trump make gains with Latino and black men. This realignment crystallized a political reality that is tough for Democrats to swallow. With blue-collar voters flocking away from their party over multiple election cycles, Democrats' refashioned base is becoming more upper-class, urban, suburban, and coastal. It's a narrowed coalition that does not bode well for future elections. To put things into perspective, the Trump coalition is closer to the Obama coalition than the Harris one is.
There it is. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Is wild. That is what we call a potential party switch. And I don't really care about how
Phil, I was working for the FBI when Trump got elected in 2016. They didn't put up his portrait in Quantico until 2018 because they don't like him, right? What happened? What happened in 2018? What happened in 2018? They lost what? They lost the House, right? I believe they lost the House. That's when they put it up because now they can sort of control him, right? Right, Bobby Kennedy got deleted. Yeah, exactly, man. Like, look, they try to get rid of him. Bobby got deleted in the kitchen, and his son is going to make America healthy again. Yep, there it is. Yeah, Bobby Kennedy Sr. got deleted in the kitchen. Now Bobby Jr. is going to make America healthy. Yep, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. But yeah, I just hope that now that the Republicans have, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and Trump is bringing in a bunch of really, really good people. I'm not sure about the new AG, and of course I'm not a big fan of Marco Rubio, but the fact that he better, like, the stuff that he proposed last year, there's like a bunch of videos of him talking about how he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that, he's gonna remove the Department of Education, he's gonna make concealed carry a reciprocity across into the entire country, deport everything. Like, I want to see all that shit happen. He has to do it. All right. And the thing is that he's not going to be running for a re-election. This is it. Michael Jackson style. This is it, man. Do everything that you said that you're going to do. Just do it. What, are you afraid that you're not going to get re-elected? It doesn't matter. You're not going to get re-elected anymore. Do it now.
How many leftists or Democrats cope about this? We have better union policies. We have better wages policy. Yeah, that might be true, and I agree, but we don't get to decide who the party of the working class is. The working class does. And if exit polls are anything to go by, basic left-wing economic policy is still incredibly popular. People just hate the Democratic Party. White men without college degrees are going to ruin this country. First of all, white men without college degrees built this country, bitch. Second of all, this is apparently a real Democratic Party strategist. That's fucking crazy, man. You want to know how to win 2028? Step 1. Stop listening to freaks like this. The election, if having a degree was a requirement to vote. And this is what the election would look like if everyone was allowed to vote.
Democracy.
Oh, wait. That's this election.
Democracy.
And I think Bernie Sanders is wrong. I think the more relevant question actually is, what is wrong with America?
Democrats have a smug problem. The day after the election, an NBC News chart circulated on Instagram that highlighting exit poll data showing that the more education you had, the more likely you would vote for Vice President Kamala Harris over President-elect Donald Trump. Some liberals used the occasion to look down upon the icky dummies who were too stupid to know they shouldn't vote for Trump. Yet Trump's victory was both definitive and diverse. He won broad swaths of the electorate, making significant gains in New York and California, and winning over large.
The fact that California, like, the only places that are blue are in the major cities is crazy. Because in the 2021, I believe it was like 70% blue in California. This election was like flipped. It was like 75% red, but like the rest is blue because of San Diego, Los Angeles, Sacramento, and San Francisco area, right? Like finally, like San Bernardino County, I basically live in the desert. Like it's red now, and that's the reason why we need to fucking secede.
Larger percentages of Latino voters and young voters than in 2020. He also won a majority of first-time voters. Large factions of the left condescendingly believe that dumb people are the reason Trump won in 2016 and won again in 2024. And that patronizing, visceral vibe is obvious. It's a massive turnoff to many other voters. It is a mountain smug Democrats have to overcome if they want to reconnect with voters. Once, the coastal liberal establishment had an air of open-mindedness. But now, these elites have evolved into the provincial, narrow-minded scolds they once critiqued. All their education has narrowed their worldview. Their credentialism has built themselves a bubble in which to hide from reality.
The contempt many liberals and some leftists have for the working class has never been more on display than it is right now. Even coming from some leftist YouTubers I watch that I know better and spend a lot of their time trying to bring people to the left. Your college degree does not make you any smarter than a working class person without a college degree. And more
Like I remember I used to say like, oh, I'm not book smart, I'm street smart. And people was like, oh, just say you're fucking stupid then, right? When imagine saying that to like the people who like build your houses, like the people that like freaking pave your roads and shit like that, the people that actually like build the infrastructure of the United States. Most of them don't have college degrees because they don't need to go to college because they already have a 6-figure income building fucking houses. All right, they don't. The reason why people go get a fucking college degree, other than the fact that if you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, or you need like a degree in order for you to become a profession, most of the fucking people who go to college are fucking retarded. All right. For me, I went to college. I'm in fucking debt. I was in fucking debt for like $100,000, $100,000 for an art degree. Technically, I didn't need a degree for. Right. In order for me to get my job now, I didn't need a degree for it. But if you want to become a doctor or lawyer, yeah, that's understandable. But the thing is, imagine telling the people who build your house, the people who fucking the electricians, right? Right? The electricians, the freaking plumbers, like, oh, yeah, the reason why, like you voted for Trump, yeah, you're stupid. It's your fault. Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? If you're saying if you're voting for Trump, you're a fascist. If you voted for Trump, you're a Nazi. If you voted for Trump, you're a bigot. I'm all of those. I'm all of those. Nothing you say does. Like you've been calling us racist for the past fucking 10 years. I don't fucking care anymore. You can go suck a donkey's nipple.
More importantly, don't talk down to a vast majority of the population, because despite how badly you want to believe it, they are not stupid. They are the people who grow your food, build your houses, pave your roads, fix the plumbing.
Yeah, now I make AI art true.
And guess what? There are more of them than there are of you. So maybe you people should.
We should give a cum degree.
Your finger in their faces as if disagreeing with you is some moral failing, because it's not. These people aren't all racists and Nazis or whatever. They are normal people. They are the proletariat. They're who you should be fighting for. And they don't believe you are fighting for them. More importantly, there is a difference between
here's the thing. The crazy thing, the fact that Kamala came out and said, when someone basically heckled her and says, Christ is Lord, Jesus is Lord, right? The fact that she said you're at the wrong rally. How many Christians or Catholics do you have in the Democratic Party? At least like the OG Democratic Party, a good amount. The fact that you told them you're at the wrong rally? What? If you're against my faith, fuck you then. I'm going to vote for the other guy. She shot her own dick off, man. That's like, why would you do that? Why? You're so stupid.
Being educated.
Yeah. Biden called everyone trash too. Exactly.
Being smart. IQ isn't just about how many books you read or how many words you know. A lot of it is about pattern recognition, and boy did I recognize some patterns here. Maybe you guys should have listened to the bimbo with populist brain rot, because she seemed to be right about a lot of this. If the Democratic Party wants
Gray
to
would like her because she has good teeth.
Understanding the importance of populism. Drop the divisive
probably,
identity politics
probably
and focus
does.
on the bread and butter issues, or you are doomed. Become the party of Huey Long again, or you are doomed. But you know what? Maybe you're not doomed. Because if Trump fails to deliver on his promises, or we get like George Bush 3, it's totally possible that the populism vacuum will be open again. Will the Democrats take advantage of this and actually put up a good candidate?
Nope.
No. They're gonna put up like Pete Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom, and the populism vacuum will be filled by people like my Twitter mutual and soon to be Vice President of the United States, JD Vance.
I like JD Vance, all right? I like JD Vance is because his company is Palantir. He loves Lord of the Rings. He played Magic the Gathering. Dude is a normal guy. He's a normal bro. All right? And the fact that his wife is a person of color, you can't call him a racist, right? But yeah, I like JD Vance.
That is still so weird. What do I do with this power? Hey, JD, best buddy, I have an idea. It's called Patriot Care, and it's healthcare, but our tax dollars go to it instead of bombs. Doesn't that sound cool? If you can't beat him, join him. The fact is, this election was a complete rejection of the liberal ideology. Or it was just because of inflation and people want to afford eggs again.
Eggs was,
it was probably that.
$12.
It just sucks to see the party you voted for your whole life, the party you grew up with, just get worse and worse over time. After this, the Democrats are gonna move right in the dumbest ways. They're gonna become like the new neocons, but gay. And I have no idea how a second...
They're already gay. They're already gay as fuck. All right. Do you know who's running the military? Do you see that bald guy who stole luggage? Dylan Mulvaney. Y'all, Harry Sisson. Y'all fucking gay.
Trump term is gonna go. I hope it goes well. I don't know. Congrats to RFK, I guess. I'll see you guys in the Adderall labor camps. Otherwise known as the concentration camps. Get it? Okay. Anyway, so that is enough of my yapping. Now I want to hear you yap. Why do you think Trump won? And what could the Democrats do to win 2028? Anyway, if you liked this video,
they're not gonna win.
Consider subscribing. Also,
they don't have a good candidate.
On Patreon, or you could do a little tip with the little tip jar down below somewhere. It helps the channel a lot, and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you very soon with a new video that is very, very different than this one. Some of you might like it. I know a certain community will, but...
Is it porn? Is it hentai stuff? That could be interesting.
That is it for now, so... Bye!
Where did a mustache come from? It's a good video. It's a little long, but it's a good video. Yep. I do like oh my god. Yo, you fucking know that Biden voted for Trump. Oh shit, man. Here's the link. Here's the link, boys. There's the link. Go ahead, give her a like. I do like her takes on most stuff, and I do watch. I know she's more liberal, and she's like, you know, so she's like more like socialist type of person, and I do watch like other, like, I don't just watch like Republican stuff. Like I watch Democrat stuff. Like I watch the Young Turks from time to time. Destiny, on the other hand, that guy just watches, you know, his wife getting fucked by another guy. Yeah, that's weird.